Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. My project today is a s'mores box. It contains, well, I put it all together, but I put a 2-pack of graham crackers. I took one of the ghosts out of this Peeps package, and I put a Hershey bar in, and they can make a s'more with the Peep. I think that would be really great. The box measures 3 by 3 3/4 by 1 1/2. All right, I'm using the Playful Ghosts again and the Spotlight on Nature dies. All right, this is my new host code. Please put this in for any purchases under $150, not including your shipping and your tax. All right, so what we need for this project is a piece of basic black that is 9 1/2 by 7 1/2, some basic white. We need 2 pieces of a pattern paper that are 2 3/4 by 3 1/2, 2 that are 1 1/4 by 3 1/2, and 2 that are 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. I cut 2 of these 2 3/4 inch circles. This paper is pretty thin that I'm using, so I cut one out of Daffodil Delight cardstock also. This is from the Spotlight on Nature dies. And then I cut the small die from the Spotlight on Nature dies. They're both the ones that have just the lines around them. And I stamped before I cut it because I have a hard time with the cling stamps and labels. All right, let me get my Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 9 1/2 inch side. Score at 1/2, 2, 5, and 6 1/2. Turn it to the 7 1/2 inch side and score at 1 1/2, 5 1/4, and 6 3/4. All right, now just fold and burnish your score lines. How we have this is there is a 1/2 inch rectangle over here and a 3/4 inch strip at the top and a 1 1/2 inch at the bottom. All right, and this is what we're going to be doing. It's not too bad. All right, so let's start down over here. Go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge up a little into that 1/2 inch rectangle. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge both sides of the square. Go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the first score line, and then wedge both sides of the square. Okay, now that's the bottom. Now we're going to flip it so the 1/2 inch rectangle is over here, and we're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, and we're going to take these 2 pieces off. Okay, go to the next score line and cut it to the second score line. Take off the bottom rectangle and wedge the square. Okay, go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the second score line. On the second one, wedge up into that 1/2 inch rectangle. Move this out of the way. Okay, then we're going to take the rectangle off the bottom and wedge both sides of that square. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is round the top, the corners of this top flap. My regular corner rounder broke. To get a new one of those. All right, and that's what your cardstock should look like when you're done. Now we need some tear-in tape, and I'm going to put it on what's left of the 1/2 inch rectangle next to the score line. Take the backing off. Okay, and then I flip it over and then fold it to meet each other. All right, where the seam is your back, and then we're going to glue the bottom. Okay, and there's your box. All right, now we need our pattern paper, which is from my stash, so I don't think you'll get it, but I did order the new DSP that they provided us, finally. They really didn't have a suite of Halloween this year, which I don't think I'm the only one that's upset about that. All right, so we're going to put these two pieces on the front and the back, the long sides and the short sides. Okay, now we'll let that dry a minute and we'll do our stamping. We're going to do the ghost with the pumpkin, and the trick or treat I already did on our little circle. All right, so let's do our ghost. Will he fit up here? Yes. All right, I'm just going to fussy cut him. All right, and I'm using 6 Stampin Blends, light and dark pumpkin pie, light and dark bubble bath, dark daffodil delight, and light mossy meadow. So with the light mossy meadow, I'm just going to do the stem. Okay, with the light bubble bath, I'm going to make 2 cheeks. The dark bubble bath, I'm going to do the tongue. Okay, with dark daffodil delight, I'm going to do the eyes and the mouth. Light pumpkin pie, I'm going to do the inside parts that show of the pumpkin and the pumpkin top. And then the rest of the pumpkin I'm going to do with dark pumpkin pie. Okay. All right, now we need our 2 circles, and I'm going to glue them together. All right. Then I'm going to take some dimensionals and put my ghost on. I'm just going to put him in the middle. All right, now we need our box. Make sure you have the back, the front, and we're going to put some more dimensionals on the back of our circle. All right, and then I'm just going to put this down in the middle. Okay, for the sentiment, I'm just going to put a dimensional piece right here. And a little bit of liquid glue. And I'm going to put it off to the side a little bit. Right like that. Okay, and I tied a bow with some of the large check ribbon. And I'm just gonna cut it. I'm gonna flip it over and put a glue dot and some liquid glue. And then I'm gonna pop it right up here. Cute, this one didn't stay. There we go. All right, and then for the final touch, I'm going to use some of the Mossy Meadow Speckled Dots. And I'm going to put a small one up there, a large one over here, and another small one right there. And that's it. hope you enjoyed it. All of my info for the links to my shop and my blog are below. Please subscribe and hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. And if you would like to join my team, I'd be happy to have you. All right, have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.